Good morning. I've been using the off time in the international break wisely. I've created an AC/DC sound alike for Suno. So I'm looking forward to some AC/DC like AI music. Not coming your way soon. I don't want to inflict it on you. Yesterday, very, very quiet. Only the one play. I stayed up for it, but I didn't do it. It was a must win for the Germans yesterday, wasn't it? Against Can't remember who it was. Northern Ireland, yes. Germans have been very, very hesitant. Not a very good betting medium at all. But as you can see, the relationship between short odds and goals was clear. Now, why didn't I like the draw second half here? I was watching the match. I was listening to the commentator. And he was putting me off, the bar steward. They look very blunt and out of ideas, Germany. But that was the scoreline you were expecting. They lost their opener, so this was a must-win. That was the only real play yesterday. As you can see, the favourites all dominating pretty much. Luxembourg and Slovakia could have laid the late draw here, but trusting these two is difficult. Luxembourg did have a goal in the back of the net. So that was it yesterday. Could be the similar story today, I'm afraid. Not much exciting, but we will have a look through. Got the World Cup qualifiers in Africa. I'll be on hand for those throughout the day. It is a day off for me, but I'd like to make some money. So if I spot a trade and I put my own money on, it doesn't cost me much to send you that on Telegram. Zambia, where I was born, got a tough encounter today against one of the best ranked African sides. And you can get the rankings, of course, which you'll need because we have very infrequent head-to-heads. So you've got to have a weigh-in. Let's see, for example, look at the Copper Bullets, 83rd. And Morocco, 12th. So immediately you get some idea of the golfing class between these two sides. I'll be on hand today. I have liked what I've seen from the African Championships in some matches. Algeria against Guinea. Again, Algeria, North Africans, dominant. Should be. 36th in the world rankings. And Guinea, 81st. 36th against 81st. So it's not a huge rankings differential, but they have been second half scorers as well, Algeria, in tight matches. So I'd be looking out for them, possibly second half to get a win. And you've seen in the World Cup qualifiers in Africa, the draw is vulnerable. We tend to see a lot of those draws ending late on. Elsewhere, you'll see a lot of short-priced favourites. So Madagascar against Chad, for example, if you wanted to have a quick idea. Madagascar 115th, Chad 175th. So that tells you everything about these two. Do you trust a team 115th in the world rankings? Chad got a 1-1 against Ghana in their opener. So that looks very vulnerable indeed. It was an unexpected 1-1 against Ghana, so Chad might have something to live for. Premier League Cup, probably over 2.5 goal fodder. And in the World Cup qualifiers, there's not much really for me to get my teeth into, but let's have a look through. Belarus against Scotland, it's 97th against 47th in the world rankings. This becomes a must-win for the Scots. It is a tough Group C with Greece and Denmark could take the top two spots. 0-0 v Denmark. This is a must-win for the Scots. Again, as I say, good result against Denmark, but for me, I don't know who their centre forward is. That's always a concern. You know, Man United, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Barcelona, Samuel Eto'o, Scotland, haven't got a clue. Goals could come from midfield and from set pieces. This is a must-win for the Scots. You've got to put Belarus out to pasture and then focus on the head-to-heads against Greece and Denmark, because Greece and Denmark are going to be the two that are going to be vying for the top two places. Croatia and Montenegro. Only a one win for the Croats against the Faroe Islands suggests that they could be vulnerable to an overtly defensive side. Montenegro, for their sins, 77th in the world. 2-0 loss to the Czechs should be something that Croatia could follow. So we'll be looking at that today. 1.2 odds suggests 3 goals from the Croats. Gibraltar against the Faroe Islands, the match that kept me awake all night in anticipation. Forget Real Madrid, Barcelona. This is where it's at. 199th against 141st in the world. Both 1-0 defeats in their openers for these two. They are the points gatherers for other teams in this group. But against fellow minnows, I'd be favouring the Faroe Islands here. They are tougher defensively. They've got a longer pedigree. And I think they can keep Gibraltar quiet. Greece against Denmark. One of the key matches in the group, this one, because it's realistically a 3-horse race for 2 places. So the odds do suggest caution, 2.55 the favourite. With a 0-0 against Scotland in their opener, the Danes are yet to get 3 points. Greece, 5-1 win against Belarus. You're going to see Denmark beat Belarus. So these head-to-heads become vitally important. When you've got a minnow in your group, the head-to-heads become even more important because you're going to be beating the minnow. You've got to beat your fellow viable qualifier. Israel against Italy. Italy have a game in hand, which will see them top 2 with a win today. Israel, the only threat to the top 2, 75th in the world rankings. Minnows in the group. Again, these head-to-heads become vital. What do I mean by minnows in the group? Let's have a look. We've got Estonia and Moldova in the group. This should be these 3 sides 3-pointers. But then this is a 3-horse race for 2 places, and Italy, ever so nervous, having failed, was it the last 2 World Cups, have a game in hand. So this is absolutely important for Italy to win. Are we going to enter the match with that in mind today? This is an absolute must-win for the Italians. Israel find themselves in a decent position at the moment. But 75th, we will see. Kosovo against Sweden, 95th against 29th in the world rankings. Group B should be dominated by Switzerland and Sweden. So it's important that the Swedes beat Kosovo today. Make it a 2-horse race between them and Switzerland. Swiss beat Kosovo 4-0. Sweden drew 2-2 with Slovenia. So already opening match, failing to get 3 points. This is a must win. But it looks as if it's going to be a tough encounter with 1.73 for the away side. The Kosovans likely to be packing that defence. Switzerland against Slovenia. 4-0 win against Kosovo and a 2-2 for the Slovenians against Sweden. Slovenia are the spoilers in this group, as I've already alluded to. Slovenia must be beaten by Switzerland and Sweden if Switzerland and Sweden are to progress out of this Group B. Slovenia are going to be a royal pain, as they were against Sweden with a 2-2. Don't forget, Sweden are 29th in the world rankings, Switzerland 19th. So Slovenia could be more of a hindrance than a 1.48 quote for Switzerland would have us suggest. We've also got Africa today, as I've already mentioned. I will be dealing with Africa via the pre-match odds and also be dealing with them via the in-play stats. It is a day off for me, even though I didn't provide you with a trade yesterday. I was up until 9 p.m. and I really should have passed on that Ireland one. That's the whole reason I stayed up. Kazakhstan and England, Borat's boys, been putting in some decent performances in different competitions, but likely to be up against it. Well worth following these under-21s because they are qualifiers, which means they are competitive. But what we don't have with the under-21s is FIFA World Rankings. Or do we? Under 21 FIFA rankings. Because that will be important. It'll be interesting for us. Suspended until further notice. Oh, well. We don't really have the rankings for the nippers. It would be very helpful, wouldn't it, to get, like we have with the big guns, to get an idea, particularly in these tighter matches, 1.59 the favourite. What are the rankings differentials for these two? Spanish La Liga 2, Eibar and Andorra. Well, why don't we just take a quick peek at this match and probably suggest to you it's far too early in the season for you to be getting interested in Spanish La Liga 2. Eibar against Andorra. Let's take a look at the match. 2 or 3 matches played already this season, so it's a very thin sample for us to work with. But we do have the pre-match odds. The pre-match odds have given us a 1.76 home favourite. I do like odds on home favourites from a trader's perspective, because they don't tend to lose. What do we see? Well, we've got both teams to score in the 2 away matches for Eibar, and we've got a comfortable 3-0 home win with their 2 second-half goals. They have been scoring. No, they haven't. 2 second-half goals. Any other patterns? Not really. So just the 1 home match. So the sample is even smaller here. Andorra, both teams are scoring. We're seeing at least a goal before half-time. Do we have Ale Garcia? What a great name. Sergio Garcia and Ale Garcia. Yes, someone's having some fun. Sergio Garcia. I bet they take the mickey out of him if he plays golf. So, Ale Garcia and Sergio Garcia. Fancy that. 1-1, coming from behind via an own goal against Real Zaragoza. Emphatic 0-3 lead. Be interesting to see the pre-match odds. And against Burgos, again, emphatic. So Andorra, 2 emphatic wins in a row. Not favoured today, though. That's it for me today. It's my day off, but because it's quiet, I didn't really make any money yesterday. I didn't lose any money, but I didn't make any, and I should have done on that lay in the Germany match, lay the draw in the Germany match. So I will be on hand today. I've been ticking over nicely. I'll be on hand personally from 2 o'clock. I've got no obligation to pass on any plays to you today because it is my day off. I gave you my weekend. But as ever, it's going to cost me very little to hop on the telephone and pass on something to you. You won't be getting screenshots today, just be getting a skeleton service. I'm certainly going to be on hand from 2 o'clock, and I will probably be staying up this evening as well for the 7:45s. And it's going to be a good day. I think we can move slowly between the African World Cup qualifiers to the Euros to the World Championship qualifiers for Europe. So let's see what we shall see. Have a great day, and I'll see you, possibly, members on Telegram, a bit later on.